Welcome back to the channel. I'm standing next to the 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. If you guys are in the market for a Jeep, be sure to check out Spitzer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and ask for Geo or Phil, and they will get you into your next vehicle. But let's talk about pricing here for the Wrangler 4xe Sahara. Starting price is at $55,865. This one stickers for $63,880. Looking at the exterior styling here of the Wrangler 4xe, my model is painted in this black exterior paint with the aluminum painted trim throughout this vehicle. Looking at these headlights here, these are a full LED headlight with an automatic low and high beam. LED turn signal and daytime run lights are off to the side here. This is the only way that you guys can tell that this is a 4xe because of the blue recovery points here. Also the tow hooks in the back. This also has the 7 corporate slot Jeep grille here with the aluminum painted trim in the inserts, with this front facing camera with this washer on the end of it. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the 4xe. But looking at the side profile here, this has a 118.4 inch wheelbase with an overall length of 188.4, so it's right on par with every other off-road vehicle in this segment here. Looking at these tires and wheels here, my model is the Sahara trim. It does have these gloss black finish multi-spoke wheels here, which are a 20-inch rim design. These are a 275/50 tire, and there's Easter eggs on the actual rim design here. As you guys see, there's a small Wrangler right there. This still has the solid front rear axle. This vehicle is still capable of going off-road, and this does have around 10.1 inches of ground clearance that Jeep claims. There's the Sahara badge and Jeep and Wrangler badge here on the side fender with the American flag, which is painted blue. I like the nice font there with the blue accented trim in the back. And there's no LED side markers, but this does have blind spot monitoring. And there's also these fixed running boards here to get into this SUV. And my model also has the soft top here, so you guys can open this up to give it more light and air into the actual cabin. But making our way to the rear here of the Wrangler here, looking at these taillights here, they're a full LED, which is a turn signal, brake light, and reverse light. Looking here, there's a full-size spare tire, which is really nice. It does have the same gloss black finish with the Easter egg here at the lower part of the rim design. There's a backup camera, which is mounted here. There's the 4xe badge, the Spitzer badge is there, shout out to them. And there's this blue recovery point here just in case you guys get stuck off-road. But open up the cargo back here. I like that this vehicle does have this barn-like door here. Once you flip up the glass, Jeep claims that this has 27.7 cubic feet of space. Once you fold down the rear seats, that expands the cargo to 67.9 cubic feet of space. So it does offer plenty of space here in the segment. Lifting this up here, it does have some very shallow underfloor storage, and Jeep does give you this mobile charger. Looking at the key fob here for the Wrangler 4xe, it has a lock, unlock, a panic button, and there's a switchblade key here just in case the vehicle battery were to die. You can still access the vehicle as well. As you guys can see here, I like this well laid out interior. It looks very modern in a sense. Keep in mind, Ford did redesign the Bronco, so this does compete in that class. Nice full stitching here, nice materials here on the dashboard. This is an 8.4 Uconnect system here. Very fast, very snappy system. It does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto via the wire. Sadly, it's not wireless like the Bronco. And there's a status bar here to let you know the stage charge for the vehicle. Great visibility. I already have the soft top open here. As you guys can see, it's a one-touch operation system. But let's take a look at the door panel materials here. It's gonna be a nice soft touch material with this aluminum accented door handle here, which is painted. There's your mirror controls, lock controls are here. This cargo net down here for storage. It's gonna be nicely padded here. Yes, you guys can still take off all the panels off this vehicle, from the door panels to the rear panels in the back. You can fold down the windshield. That's why you guys have those little stumps on top of the hood there. The steering wheel here does feel nice to hold in my hands, but to start up the vehicle here, press the push button start right here. And right now the vehicle did start up in its electric range only, but shutting the door here of the Wrangler, right now it says I've been averaging 17 mpg. I haven't had this vehicle for a long period of time, so keep in mind it's not really best fuel economy that this vehicle can get. But looking here, I like this 3-spoke wheel design with the aluminum painted trim. Over here is for this control here to cycle through this LCD display here. It shows your off-road status, your vehicle information, your speedometer, your screen setup here, messages, audio source once you have your phone connected. Over here, the Wrangler 4xe does have very unique gauges for charge and 100% of the power, or how much percent of the power that you're using. Over here is for your RPM. So it has this digital and analog finish to it. Over here is your headlight controls, your illumination switch, your fuel cap opener. Right now I have it in this hybrid mode. You press this here, it goes into electric, and there's your e-save there, so it will save all that charge once you hit the trails and whatnot. But going back to hybrid here, I like that Jeep does let you do 3 different modes here to save the energy. I like that Jeep allows you to do that. Looking at the Uconnect system here, is very snappy, very responsive. I love the Uconnect system, one of the best systems in the business. Go ahead to views. This is the onboard navigation here. Very snappy, very responsive. I like how fast it is. And as you guys can hear, the gas engine just kicked back on. Going back here to the Apple CarPlay. Looking here, some shortcut buttons here for the dual climate control. My model does not have the 3-level heated seats, but there's these big knobs here for the volume and tune. Here, the sync control, you can turn off the screen here. That's your traction control. And press this button here, it does show you your max regen. You can turn it on and off. I think it brings the vehicle to a complete stop if I'm not mistaken. There's a 12 volt here. There's your window controls here. A little bit of storage here. This is for your 4-wheel drive system, which is a 2-high, 4-high auto, 4-high part-time, neutral, and 4-low. Putting the vehicle into reverse here, it does reveal the backup camera record this trajectory with distance markers. This also has a front washer here. As you guys see, if I press that there, it will clean off the camera from dust and dirt and mud and whatnot, so you guys can, you know, see when you guys are hitting the trails at. Kicking over here to the left and put it into its manual mode. This does go through the 8-speed automatic transmission. I like the nice leather around the shifter. A lot of Easter eggs in this vehicle. We have an Easter egg here. Yes, I have one in the windshield over there in the corner. So plenty of different Easter eggs. If you guys want to keep your kids, you know, looking for them. There's a Type C port, Type A port, and aux port is there. 2 cup holders here for large water bottles and whatnot. Traditional handbrake is stitched in leather around the 4-wheel drive system. It's also wrapped in leather as well. Over here's for your cruise control setting. Your option to answer and hang up the phone. Your voice controls are here. It says Jeep here on the airbag cover. Open this up, it does have a 2-tier storage in there. The center area right here does reveal my camera equipment. It's very deep storage. There's a type A port in there for the USB. It's gonna be nicely padded here with some stitching. The seats in here, they're very supportive and comfortable. Like I mentioned, they're not 3-level heated seats. You probably have to go for the Rubicon if you want to get the 3-level heated seats. Jeep does not offer cool seats on the Wrangler at any price point. Open this up, it does reveal a good amount of storage, but it's very small. It does have the owner's manual in there and whatnot. And like I mentioned, this is a one-touch system here. If I press that, it will close up the shade. And I like how quick it is in a sense. This is also the soft top here, so it's really nice. And it does a good job of closing and securing itself. So if you guys want to have more air and more light into the cabin, I would recommend, you know, getting the soft top if you guys truly want it. But overall, the interior of the Wrangler is very well laid out. It doesn't feel long in the tooth, but Jeep should be redesigning the Wrangler for a newer generation in the near future. Looking at the interior space here of the Jeep Wrangler 4xe, as you guys can see, plenty of space to put your family back here. But let's talk about the materials here on the actual door panels. The same material that's carried over from the front, soft touch material with this aluminum accented painted door handle here. It's going to be nicely padded here with this nice stitching. This cargo net is down here for additional storage if you guys need it. Keep in mind, you can take out the door panels to give it more of an open and airy feel. But getting back here, there's this grab handle with these running boards here that my model has. Getting back here, keep in mind, guys, I'm only 5'8", and Jeep says this has 38.3 inches of rear legroom space. There's also 2 map pockets back here for storage. You do get rear air vents here. There's your window controls. Your charging ports are down here with this household outlet. There's a slight bit of storage here, and you can fit 3 people across in comfort. Putting this latch here, you can also fold down this portion of the seat here, and it does reveal the 2 cup holders. And above, you can open this up to give more of an open and airy feel. It's a soft top, which is really nice. But overall, the back seat of the Wrangler does not feel like a penalty box. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the Wrangler 4xe. This is Jeep's 2-liter 4-cylinder. This powertrain makes 375 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. That's the same torque output as the 392, which is our V8 model of the Wrangler. This is also paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. As the Wrangler 4xe sits here, this weighs around 5,100 pounds because the hybrid components. But let's talk about the charge time here for the Wrangler 4xe. If you guys use a 110 or a 120 volt, Jeep says that would take additional 12 hours to charge. So basically half the day to charge up the 17.3 kilowatt hour battery pack. If you guys use a 220 or 240 volt, Jeep says that will cut the charge down to 2.5 hours. So me personally, I will use a 220 volt or 240 volt in order to get the best charging times. Making our way over here to the fuel door here, let's talk about fuel economy for the Wrangler 4xe. Jeep says with gasoline and electric, you will get 49 mpge. With the gasoline alone, it will get 20 mpg combined. And with the full battery, Jeep says this vehicle can get around 21 up to 25 miles of all electric range. So starting off in the Wrangler 4xe, right now I'm driving an all electric range. It's super quiet, and I do have this open, so I'm just gonna just basically drive it how an average Wrangler owner would drive it. And I do have it in this regen braking here, so it will, you know, grab the power and put it into the battery pack, which lives underneath the rear seats. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the Wrangler 4xe. This is Jeep's corporate 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. And it's so crazy, I can feel the 8-speed auto shifting, which in a sense is kind of cool. But that being said, let's talk about visibility here. Visibility out of this vehicle is really good. It's a brick, you know, a brick on wheels in a good way, not a bad way. I like the exterior styling. I like the Bronco as well. So Jeep, you know, is keeping it very simple in a sense when it comes to exterior styling, more conservative, but it does have the, you know, traditional look as, you know, any other Jeep. And I like how it's still using the electric battery, you know, to kind of coast me along. Right now it's in its regen braking here, and it does not come to a stop, so you still have to physically use the brake pedal in order to stop the vehicle here. But let's just floor it from a stop. And that's the speed limit there. This thing drives like an electric vehicle, which is just super impressive. And right now the gas engine's back off, which is just super impressive. It really puts a smile on my face that Jeep thought of, let's make it, you know, all electric, somewhat electric Jeep. It's a plug-in hybrid. Let's talk about the charge time here for this vehicle. If you guys use a 110 to a 120 volt, it would take 12 hours to charge this vehicle. But if you use a 220 to 240 volt, it would take 2.5 hours. So that would chop the charge down significantly. So it would chop it down. It would chop it down a lot. That's really impressive that Jeep, you know, up the charge time with the 240 or 220 volt, depending on what you guys want to use. And this 2-liter 4-cylinder is very quiet. It's a quiet engine, as long as you're not revving it out. And there is a slow student driver in front of me. And right now you guys can kind of hear it roaring a little bit to let pedestrians know that you're driving this vehicle, because it's a plug-in hybrid. Jeep says with gasoline and electric, you will get 49 mpge, which is really good fuel economy for this vehicle to be, you know, to have an air efficiency of a brick in a sense. But with the gas engine itself, it gets 20 miles combined, so it's still fuel efficient in a sense. Jeep says this has 10.1 inches of ground clearance, so it's still capable of going off-road. It has the recirculating ball type steering here. It rides really well, great smooth ride quality. Like I mentioned, once again, the visibility out of this vehicle is really good. You can, you know, let down the top and whatnot, you know, get more light and air into the cabin. It's a well-rounded vehicle. I like the materials, really nice materials that Jeep uses here. And once again, the regenerative braking, it does a good job of recuperating that power and storing it. Right now the vehicle will not come to a complete stop, so keep in mind you will have to physically use the brake pedal in order to get the vehicle to stop. And the gas engine just kicked on. This is really putting a smile on my face. I never had so much time, so much fun time with a Jeep, believe it or not. And the vehicle will charge the battery itself once it grabs that power and whatnot. And the engine is off again, so we're gonna just cruise along very slowly here. And the engine just came back on. But if you want to get good acceleration, you know, just put your foot on the accelerator and this vehicle will move. And Jeep says this can tow 3,500 pounds, so it's still capable of towing your, you know, your jet skis and whatnot to, you know, the water or to the lake. The steering feel is very playful. It has literally like it's dead type feel to the steering feel, but it's good, you know. It's good for off-road because it does have the solid front and rear axles, so it's still capable of doing Jeep things. I wouldn't take this model here off-roading because it's more of a luxury type model. You want to go for the Rubicon, which has a more aggressive off-road tires. That's probably how you guys can get the 10.1 inches of ground clearance. But if you guys are looking for something different, the Bronco doesn't even come nowhere near this type of, you know, electrification in a sense, or the cool technology that Jeep uses. I like the status bar here on the dashboard. But if you guys, once again, are looking for something different or something unique in the segment, the Wrangler 4xe is not going to disappoint. After spending time with the 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe, I like that you can switch between e-save, electric, and hybrid because this is the plug-in variant, and I like that you can also charge this vehicle and go around 21 to 25 miles of electric range. So if you guys can drive from home to work and back home if you guys live within a 21 to 25 mile radius. So it is possible that you guys would never use the gas engine. With that being said, I think the 4xe is one of the coolest Wranglers in their lineup besides the 392, which offers that V8 powertrain. With that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed my review here on the 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Be sure to check me out on Instagram at Drive1Reviews. Hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications, and I will see you all in the next review.